It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Tokwe Makodige. How are you?
I'm very good. Happy to have you back.
Yes. I've only been gone for a week now. Calm down.
Just a week.
It's a week. A week and 2 days.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. My weekend was packed. So
Nice.
on Saturday we had Shikan conference. Phenomenal, as in the women showed up. Women like to develop themselves. I'd love to see a conference that gathers up to like 5,000 men, just men. But this conference had like over 5,000. It was overflow, full, and phenomenal speakers back to back. So I really, really enjoyed being at the conference. I moderated a panel, so I was more of learning, you know, and just really soaking in the atmosphere of eager young people wanting to learn and become more, and I really, really enjoyed it. Then my in-law, my husband's mom's younger brother came from South Africa yesterday, and my husband was like, in the morning, my uncle is coming. What is he going to eat? I say, why are you calculating? Go to Cravings, buy okra soup, buy skidiko, and I'll make a bar for the person. So that was how he went there, bought okra soup, bought sedikaikong. And by the time Uncle was arriving, Eba was made. Uncle was taking me. He didn't knew I wasn't the one that put the soup together.
He
does not.
Why didn't you bring out your mortar?
It doesn't matter. Point is, he enjoyed the food. Yeah. And then after that, my kids were like, "Are you a brand ambassador for Bonita Treats?" I said, "No." He said, "Why? We have cartons of Bonita in the house." So I actually eat this particular snack, and it comes from Abuja. So because of GIG shipping is the same, I order like 6 cartons. And bring everything in. So they saw the cartons and they're wondering, are you a brand ambassador for the brand?
Is it a healthy snack?
It's a healthy snack. I'll bring some samples. It's really healthy. So they were like, you are a brand. I said, no, I'm not. They should make me brand ambassador.
I'm so I'll like to know that. Hello, Mariam.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. And it was To Kill a Monkey weekend for me.
You entered the stuff.
I entered and finished it.
That's the movie,
Yeah, it was a
Series.
series by Kemi Adituba. Really nice story.
On Netflix?
Yes, it is on Netflix. Really nice story. Everybody is talking about it. It's trending and trending. You know. Just, you know, I love the dialogue. I love the plot. Everything about it was well shot. And because it's Kemi Adituba, I didn't expect less. So really, I mean, I feel like there are lots of things we can discuss as hot topic from that story. From this series. Yeah.
I mean, I've not been on social media for a while, so I have no clue what's going on. I'll definitely go check it out.
Yeah. It was Netflix and chill for me as well.
Really?
Yeah. So I started with Kings of Joburg. Finished the 3 seasons. It was intense. The spiritual aspect, everything. Then we started on To Kill a Monkey yesterday. But then I got, you're supposed to be on a movie set. And the call time is so. I just say, okay, I'm not watching with you again. Let me go read my script. So, you know, I'm going to be on set for a couple of days now. And I'm playing lead.
Wow.
And this time around, I'm playing Lady Mechanic.
Again.
Nice.
Mechanical. I'm going to be on that car, wiring and unwiring. No, it's an interesting one, so I'm looking forward to it. So from set now, I'm dashing out like that to go do the job. But every other thing is okay. We missed you.
Yeah, I had to.
So tell us.
What happened?
I had a meeting somewhere, all the way in Paris. We went to a very important meeting. It was really good. Things are looking out, and I just
love it. Like Mariah is good for meetings in Paris.
She should go and chat.
She just dropped it.
It was really good. I'm so grateful to God. God is
You
faithful.
didn't post pictures. Why?
It wasn't that kind of
It wasn't that kind of thing.
Exactly.
But you had time to hang out.
Do and
come out. Oh, wow.
Some things are just meant to be.
I'm grateful to God, Thank you. God has been faithful. So I'm back now, fully on ground.
Oh yeah, you don't have a choice.
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. So we're going to start with the nation. State slowdown on loans following rise in revenue. Zenith Bank is Nigeria's best at Euro Money Awards for Excellence 2025. Awujale predicted my second-term victory, says Tinubu. Wow. Muslim Christian prayers and ex-President Buhari's mourning week. First Bank Holdco PLC slams this day on Arise TV for misrepresentation. There is Enugu Electricity Agency crashes band A tariff to 116 naira. I think those are the stories we have. Who's taking which stories?
We took stories from the inside.
I have one on the
major headline.
Major headline. So we have majority of states have drastically reduced their debt exposure in the last 2 years. This is according to the data from Debt Management Office that oversees the government's debt management. It says more than 3/4 of the states reduced their loans over the past 15 months, and they said this is linked to the rise in their allocation from the consolidated revenue account following petrol subsidy removal by the president. Accruals to the purse have also significantly increased. Federal, states and local governments, which that shed less than 1 trillion monthly, have now been sharing an average of 1.6 trillion naira. In June, they said the higher distributable amount of 1.8 trillion was shared. The federal government got over 645 billion naira. States got about 607 billion naira. And we have local governments shared over 444 billion naira. And the report just goes to show each state, what they had received, how they had cut their debt over the past 15 months. And we have some stakeholders. We have a chief economist, Dr. Samson Simon, who, was just talking about the report and what it means. He says that those states that are still piling up debts in spite of increased FAC allocation are those doing the right things or the wrong things. Those doing the right things are those who accumulated debts for infrastructure and other capital spending. Those doing the wrong things are those physically irresponsible and not managing their resources well. If the debts accumulated are for noble causes like human capital development in areas of education and healthcare or delivery capital, that is good for the economy and the people. But if the debt or overhang is because of waste, inefficiency and indiscipline, then it is bad for the people and for the economy and so on and so forth. I think it's important to have these figures, and as economists, mentioned, it helps us dissect how monies are being spent and how it impacts eventually on the people and the economy.
Okay, let me take our president. You have a story?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. The story, the president, the Muslims and Christians have finally ended the prayers for Buhari's mourning week. If you recall, activities started when the president had sent the vice president and the chief of staff to go and pick up the remains of our former president Buhari. And then there was a mourning, 2 days of mourning. Tuesday, he was interned in Daura. Wednesday and Thursday were prayers. And even on Thursday, last Thursday, there was a special FEC meeting where members of his family and other people came to express their thoughts, their final thoughts on the president. And there was also a Muslim and Christian prayer yesterday. So I think yesterday practically ended the 8-day fidal of the funeral, because that's also at the Ansaruddin Mosque in Maitama. The Muslim cleric prayers also happened, and it was just to conclude all the prayers for the president who had died. And it's just like, so it's quite interesting because cultures are different. I mean, if he was in my own culture, hey, this is shut down. This is the
whole country.
Antisikera already gone to the market. We've already finished selling Ashwebi right now. And there's party, 10 cows have died already.
No, but they are
collecting means.
They did.
Collecting means at this moment. It is 8 days, right? Tomorrow is he died on Sunday. 8 days. That's today.
Things would have happened
by now. My cloth is ready. But, I mean, I appreciate the beauty of our differences and diversity. So it's such an amazing culture.
So, but the Jebus did their own.
It's not done it. They've done it.
Yes, yesterday.
They had a party.
They shut down the stadium. It was from sunrise. Everybody colorful, all the markets shut down to honor the 8th day of the burial of Awujale. And the president was there with the his wife, as well as the NGF, Kwara State Governor, many other dignitaries. And he spoke of the fact that before he won the election in 2023, that he had a meeting with the Awujale, and the Awujale said he should go ahead, he would win. And that he even predicted his second term, that in 2027 he would win as well. So it was like, this is someone that was well respected, well loved, supported during the crisis in the 90s when they were fighting for democracy. He was always a good advisor that he could run to meet, and that even though he's passed on right now, the Ijebu people should come together and continue on his legacy in unity. So they had a party. It was colorful, it was packed.
Let's take one more step forward. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a new tariff reviewing electricity cost for Band A from 209 naira per kilowatt to 160 naira has been issued by the Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission, that's the EERC, for implementation in the state, which is going to be effective August 1. So they said the template was issued to Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited. The utility succeeded the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, that was the EEDC, for electricity distribution in the state. And they said it was issued at the weekend by the commission. They said the commission, the tariff review was cost reflective, insisted that tariff must reflect power generation subsidy by the federal government for benefit of end users. So because of time, let me just quickly summarize. The federal government has been giving them a form of generation subsidy, which the state government has decided, because under the new law now, states have the jurisdiction to generate their own power. So they are saying that the state has decided that they will benefit, the consumers will benefit from the generation subsidy that the federal government has been giving to them. They don't know how long this is going to last, but they are starting to see it now. So they had to do a calculation, and that was what reduced Band A to 160 instead of 209 that they have been paying before. So let's see how long this takes. But for now, the people of Enugu State should enjoy. Yeah.
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the continued papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas. It shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crumbs of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless.
Amade
Doja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Breaking news isn't just about speed, but more importantly, about fact and accuracy. It is responsible journalism, being ahead, unbiased, sensitive, in telling the stories that people would want to hear in a way that protects their sanity and for the public good. And it goes beyond breaking the news to actually following up, exploring all the angles, engaging newsmakers, tracking impact, all geared towards informing, educating, and setting agenda for the people.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to The Punch. Race to 2027. PDP's flag bearer battle begins after Atiku's exit. Awujale's blessing paved way for my 2023 victory, says Tinubu. Doctors begin nationwide strike on Thursday. Zenith Bank emerges Nigeria's best bank at the 2025 Euromoney Awards. National Assembly shut down. Senate draws battle lines over Natasha's return. Nigerians spent over $3.6 billion annually on foreign healthcare under Buhari. And let's see if any story inside. We have man arrested for killing girlfriend in Lagos hotel. And tension as cultists kill Rivers chief in community invasion. Which story are we starting with?
Yes, I have the Nigerian Medical Association. They're warning that they would ground medical services nationwide if the government fails to meet its demand. They had issued a 21-day ultimatum to the federal government, and that would close on the 23rd of July. And, well, today, as we're drawing close to it, you know, the president of NME has confirmed this. And he said that they were prepared to take decisive action should the government fail to respond adequately to its demands. He says the demands were critical to the survival of Nigeria's healthcare system and the welfare of medical professionals. So, according to NMA, they said that they had issued this ultimatum on the 2nd of July against a circular from the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission on revised allowances for medical and dental officers in the Federal Public Service. And doctors kicked against it because it violated prior agreements. And therefore, the association issued a 21-day ultimatum to the federal government to withdraw the circular and meet its other demands to avert industrial action. But it seems that the federal government hasn't said anything about it, hasn't, you know, hasn't discussed it or anything. And so, as it draws to an end, the ultimatum, they said that, well, it seems that they have to go on this industrial strike. They say that the circular contains provisions that were not mutually agreed upon, and it undermines the remuneration and welfare of medical professionals. And so the government has given them no choice but to proceed.
So the human interest story, there's a man identified as Amos Daniel has been allegedly arrested for killing a woman believed to be his girlfriend in a hotel located in Ayobo area of Lagos State. They said the incident occurred on Thursday. Daniel had checked into the hotel room around 5 p.m. with some friends, while the woman joined them later. After a while, they said they heard a strange noise from the room at about 10 p.m., which drew the attention of other people in the hotel. So they had to check what was happening. They didn't hear any noise. They had to forcefully enter the room. That's where they found the deceased, who was lying in a pool of her own blood. The 3 guests, 2 had checked out earlier before that noise happened, and they found, you know, the deceased. And so they just suspected that maybe the 3rd person was still lurking around the corner. And so by the time they found him, they had beaten him to a pulp before they finally involved the police. And by the time the police came, he confessed that they had killed the lady for ritual purposes. And so he's been taken into custody right now.
So I have the data from Central Bank. According to the detailed analysis from the statistical bulletins by the Central Bank called the Health Related and Social Services Report, it says that Nigeria spent $29.96 billion on foreign medical expenses during the 8 years of former President Muhammadu Buhari. And this was precisely covering the duration, that's June 2015 to May 2023. The data reviewed by the correspondents showed that the depth of Nigeria's dependence on foreign healthcare services, with CBN's record showing year-on-year movement upwards. It also highlights the irony that despite repeated declarations by the administration to revamp the healthcare sector and reduce capital flight, health-related foreign exchange outflows remain significant and even spiked dramatically during the latter years of Buhari's presidency. The close of review of the spending pattern shows that the first year of Buhari's presidency recorded the single highest amount of spend on medical tourism. Really sad. We have to find a way to make this a downward turn.
Definitely. So, Edo State Governor Monday Okweholo has defended his remark concerning Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi. It was in a campaign ground. He had mentioned that if Peter Obi wants to come for a campaign in Edo State, he should get a security obtain security clearance before visiting Edo State. And critics have claimed that this is a threat to Peter Obi's lives, even Falano had mentioned that Peter Obi should take legal actions against the governor on what he termed illegal threats. That then the Obedient Movement leader, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, also accused Okpeholo of intimidating and spreading falsehood. However, the Edo State government have insisted that the governor's statement was being misconstrued and taken out of context, that it was a call for security protocol to be observed, not hostility towards the opposition. And so whatever they are trying to, the critics that are adding the statement are insinuating is not the fact, that he just saying that security protocols should be observed. Well, thankfully he has clarified. The Obedient Movement should also get that clarity and not let's button heads. It's too early. We're not even close to election yet for us to now start issuing threats to one another.
Vanguard. Why Obi El-Rufai are yet to join ADC, says Bolaji Abdullahi. Defection Adeleke's negotiation hits brick wall, says APC source. Turnover profits soar in oil companies. 2025 SSCE. Disregard report on purported cancellation, FG WAEC tells public. Governors, media chiefs for Lateef Jakonde's lecture in Lagos, July 23rd. Later, Ujale stood for revalidation of June 12 polls. Let's find a story inside. You have any stories?
Yes, I do. In the Nation.
Go ahead.
In the Vanguard.
Okay, Vanguard.
So the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, in the Southwest Geopolitical Zone has decried the backlog of unpaid gratuities and other entitlements owed to retirees in the region. The union warned that its members may be forced to mobilize against governors who, according to them, have made life unbearable for senior citizens ahead of 2027 general elections. They lamented the irregular payments of gratuities and pensions arrears by some state governments in the region, saying it has left many of their members living in poverty. They specifically criticized the situation in Ondo State, expressing concern over the prolonged non-repayment of gratuity arrears to retirees. The issues that were raised in the communique that was issued at the end of the NUP Southwest Zonal Council meeting held in Akure, the Ondo State capital. And they said that the NUP, as a major stakeholder in the country's political space, will no longer vote for leaders who fail to prioritize pensioners' welfare. He said it's not gratifying to inform you that in Ondo State, where people often say, Ayeti datiwa, life is good for us, we're experiencing something different. He says, as I speak to you, the government is just paying 2013 gratuities for local government retirees. For state civil servants, it's only those who retired in 2016 that are now receiving their gratuities. That the situation is unfair to those who have served the state diligently and now suffer due to age-related ailments, and they do not have the money to take care of themselves. So I think we can't keep having these complaints over and over. People who have worked, who have earned, who have put in the work should be paid. A worker deserves his wages. It's not at this age that we're still hearing that they are still paying people far back as 2013, 2016. When will it now get to 2020? People who retired in 2020. When will it get to people who are retiring this year? That's so unfair.
Maeda was stuff alone. This is a backlog that should have been paid soon. So
it's not about the current administration. Yes, we're just saying from all the backlogs.
So I have the story that I thought should have been emblazoned on all the front pages, which is the Federal Ministry of Education and West Africa Examination Council, WAEC, have called on the public to disregard the news making the round that this year's SSCE conducted by WAEC has been cancelled and the expected results nullified. So there's a false statement that's going around, and it says in the letter that was even signed, and it says that WAEC regrets to inform the general public, especially students, parents, and students administrators and school administrators, of the immediate cancellation of the ongoing 2025 WAEC examinations across the states of the Federation. It goes on to say, this is difficult but necessary decision follows escalating reports of widespread examination malpractice, coordinated leakages of question papers, and unauthorized digital dissemination of exam materials through social media and AI-enhanced cheating tools. Wow. And he talks about investigations, blah, 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 blah. And it's signed by Dr. Mrs. Aisha Lawal, said to be DG Federal Examinations Regulatory Board of the Federal Ministry of Education. But as of this morning, we hear that that is fake. As
official as it looked.
As official as it looked, you know. And they said that they don't know who wrote that letter.
Hey.
It did not come from their office. And they are investigating, but these are just mischief makers. The government has not sat down with anybody to cancel any examination.
That's the world we're living in now.
So we need to investigate this. Yeah. We need to know who this person is or this group of people are. And hope it's not also the board trying to cover its tracks. So it needs to make sure that this investigation is quite open.
Okay,
Shocking.
so NDLEA, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, yesterday said that operatives of the special operations have finally arrested the most wanted, they always arrested these most wanted, kingpin, 60-year-old Okpara Paul Chigozie, ending his 7 years of evading arrest. Spokesman of the agency, Femi Babafemi, was saying that Chigozie was caught attempting to ship large quantities of cocaine and meth to the southeast and other parts of the country. Okpara, who has been on the wanted list from NDLEA since 2019, was eventually nabbed at his hideout at 72 Michael Ojo Street, Isheri. That's close by you. On Sunday, following the interception of some of his consignments at 5:45 a.m. the same day on Apapa Oshodi Expressway. This is, I mean, first of all, kudos to NDLEA. They are working at 5 a.m. while we are sleeping. They are here intercepting criminals. So, I mean, I'm happy that they finally caught him, and hope that that can lead them to other arrests of other people who are actually the bosses of these kingpins. Yeah. Okay, we have to wrap up. We have one more story.
Well, just a very political story about the crisis happening in Osun State. The governor, they said the governor decamped on social media. I think the governor wanted to decamp. There's a way the governor could have done it. That you are supposed to come and meet the head of the party in the state, which is the former governor Yetola, current minister of marine and blue economy. That how can you now be having conversations with other governors of other states as a way to decamp into APC? And besides, they have a list of issues with the current governor of Osun State. They don't want him. He has a lot of baggages. According to the APC, they said he sacked teachers without replacing them, that he sacked health workers without replacing them, that he's building substandard roads and bridges, and they asked for the design of the bridges, but till now they have not been able to present any design of the bridge to them. So what will they tell the people when he brings his baggage into their party?
Okay. That's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. We'll come back to our hot topic of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name na Chika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show, say, now my husband be this.
This na wetin you want.
After that day, the man
no go see am again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody. When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give sign.
If they look for person we go give am to you, fact as he be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby not dey for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, you make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we not say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man. And that's some warrior.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, Then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it, you'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's live camera fashion, where we cut, slay, and sachet and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
It's downright time to speak with the Gen Z perspective.
Hey, chick for me this and she was like, this is Sharma, this is Sharma.
Saying it not the way they want it.
Outrightly, I don't think I would budget more than 25K for a first date.
The Generation Z are ranting.
I'm 3 hours, 2 minutes after the
Minus 1 year, please.
Don't show me. I don't want to
That's why they'll keep it.
Gen Z, express yourself.
How long will it take for you to kiss then, even if it's not a sexual intercourse?
The conversation just got Gen Z.
So over the last few days, we've witnessed a prolonged debate on social media. As you know, no major conversation is complete without the perspective of the ladies of you here. So we're asking, do children from privileged backgrounds have a greater chance of succeeding than those from disadvantaged or low-income backgrounds? Let's share some real-life experiences related to this topic. What are your own thoughts? Does privilege boost chances of success? We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this matter. Let's also explore the complexities of this issue together, because some people will say when you come from a rich home, it gives you a platform to stand on. Others says if you come from a poor home, it gives you the resilience or the drive to push further. So which do you believe? Join the conversation on the numbers on your screen: 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your thoughts. So, rich kids. So we had the Nepo baby that you were talking about earlier, kids born from privileged homes. And then we're told that there's Lapo, which is the poorer kids. And then there's the Napo, I think, which is supposed to be the middle class. These terms, I'm not even sure how they came about. But in your view, what do you think about this topic? Let me start with you. Do you think somebody who comes from that privileged background has a better standing? Or that doesn't really determine the level of the success they achieve in life?
So if you come from privilege, you have a better standing. However, it doesn't determine your success, because it's not just about your foundation. You know, success has a lot to do with grit. It has a lot to do with what you want out of life. It has a lot to do with your past. I mean, I like to, when these kind of issues come out, I like to just look at it from the angle of destiny, right? Because I have seen people who came from very poor homes, who barely survived, you know, find their way around life and make it. And I've also seen people who came from real privilege. When I'm talking privilege, I'm not talking about politicians, because that's where we always cast our minds. I'm talking about people who put in the work, right? And I've seen people who still come out from such homes and they don't care about the things many people care about. They just want to live a simple life, and they're not pursuing the sort of success you expect. Let's take, for instance, their father had a name like a Dangote. You would expect that maybe a Dangote son should, you know, have a bigger name. But I've seen that many a times, the Dangote name stands as the big name, and then every other child that comes under struggles to even meet up to that level of success. And that is also what takes me to what is our definition of success. What I see privilege does for many children who come is that it gives them an array of choice. There's a book I read from time to time, The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Wattles. And in that book, he says that everything that you have been given, every talent that you have, requires money to bring it to the finest version, right? If I am interested in singing, and I grew up in a home where my father bought me the keyboard, you know, they put me in singing classes, blah, 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 it will help me fine-tune the natural talent that I have. And I can now choose to either take it far or just have fun with it and drop it, right? But if I had come from a home where I didn't have that privilege, I may find my way, if that is my line to toe, but I would struggle in finding, how do I get a keyboard? How do I get practice? How you see people sleeping in the studio? They just have to make this work at all costs. So privilege gives you that array of choice. You can choose. We have children today who say, today I'm doing basketball, tomorrow I'm not doing, tomorrow I'm doing this, today I'm not doing, because there is an array of choice. Now, in that choice, you can now decide, according to one, your background, if you have, for instance, entrepreneurial parents who you see them put in the grind. You can have 3 children, for instance, and they are seeing you put in the grind, and one of them just decides that, I just want to be lying down on my bed and be a kept wife. And they came from privilege. So it's about what you want out of life. It's about the path that you're supposed to tour in that life. The privilege may assist you or not assist you, depending on how you take it.
I hear that. But when you talk about choices, you know, isn't that the idea of choices also gives people that, I think what I was trying to say is that when you don't have a lot of choice, you're laser focused on one thing, and that pushes you further. Because maybe the issue of choices is even the problem. I mean, but let me come to you, Mary. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, so whether we like it or not, being born into privilege offers you access to the world, to anything. True. And also depending on how privileged you are. Why do you think they say that some people won the genetic lottery or the just lottery at life? Is that when you came out and you opened your mouth and cried, many things were already sorted for you. Like, and you know what is so rare about it is there's usually a 1% of like the whole world that get that sort of privilege and access. So let us recognize it for what it is, that there are some people without any doing of theirs, nothing, they were just born, but they were born into privilege. That exists. It opens doors for you. And for many people who say, hey, but it does not guarantee anything. The truth is, it guarantees that at least you have a decent life. Even if you don't push for success, when you fail, you will fail into luxury at home. You know, you can never be hungry. You can never be hungry. You can never be angry. There's something that my friend used to say when we were growing up. I used to wonder where she got it from. She'll be discussing, like you talk about people, she said, that one, they come from a house that they didn't need to lie. I just wonder why. Anytime you see someone from a privileged home, you say, this one, they didn't need to lie. I say, you didn't need to lie to survive. You didn't need to lie about what you really wanted to do. You have the access and the privilege to be anything anything you want to do. To wake up when you want to wake up, and to go to sleep when you want to go to sleep. To be with whoever you want to be with. To try to go to school wherever you want. To decide to be as powerful or as successful as your parents,
Mariam,
or to be less than.
Isn't that self-destructive?
No.
Let me tell you why it's self-destructive.
Okay.
Because somebody had suffered or somehow to get you to the point, that point.
Yeah.
Now, when you do that, you're not producing anything. You're not creating a new thing.
Yeah.
You're self-destroying because in your own mind, I am enjoying like I do. Because you now have kids, and then the next journey, before you know it, there's poverty right back because you are just self-destroying.
That is another level. That is, you know, as we discuss it, you know, that will come up. But I just want us to recognize that there's some people that have a privilege maybe their parents did not even have. So this is something that a parent can be looking at a child, realizing I did everything for you. And also maybe their children will not have. It's a privileged position to be in, and just very few people have that. Now, does this mean that they become, that life would never work out for them? Yes, there's some people that have misused their opportunities.
True.
But sadly, this group of people, it may not even be them that will feel the direct impact. It may just be those behind them, their next generation, who will know that their grandfather or great-grandfather did so much for them, and their parents. I'm telling you, because somehow I feel like I was meant to be one of those. So what happened? Yeah, I don't know.
That angel that was in charge of your life.
We come back, we hear Tokwa's views. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Imagine a country with over 300 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa and Igbo? When we get a common language, where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self and every person wey dey for street. That's why we dey introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station wey dey unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show, Waiting Day, with your brother, your friend, Wale Po.
Everywhere.
So, Bobo.
This is not Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Now we be What's Up Naija crew. Now we they give you what they sup for inside we country.
Yes, so
keep it loud.
If God be your papa, why you not gonna make Yanga?
How do I holla?
Now here we dey settle all the matter.
Bro,
we right here. Nobody better than we, right?
Okay, now whispers be that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go hear.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
Breaking news isn't just about speed, but more importantly, about fact and accuracy. It is responsible journalism, being ahead, unbiased, sensitive, in telling the stories that people would want to hear in a way that protects their sanity and for the public good. And it goes beyond breaking the news to actually following up, exploring all the angles, engaging newsmakers, tracking impact, all geared towards informing, educating, and setting agenda for the people. Breaking news is holistic, entire, complete. It's about you, me, and the world we live in. Breaking news is at the core of what we do at TVC News, and it's the honor of my life to serve you this news, fresh off the press.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Good morning, Mary.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government that will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
I'm Nifebi Oguntoye.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of coming from a privileged home versus not having that privileged background, of people coming from a poor or disadvantaged communities, and what kind of opportunities are available to them. And is it a good thing to identify with privilege or poverty? Because poverty does gives you that drive to achieve beyond your imagination. But let me come to you, Talk. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't agree that poverty gives you the drive to achieve anything great.
Thank you.
I strongly believe that poverty limits the reach you can have because you cannot even see the possibilities.
Bam.
So the middle class have an advantage because they might not be as rich as Nepo, they are not as poor as Lapo. So at that place, they can still see opportunities because they can see the rich and aspire and be driven to achieve that kind of success. And they can see the poor and say, I would never go there. But you see, when people have nothing, there's no other option. Like I can't fall below where I am. When people have nothing, it's easy to take advantage of them. It's easy to buy their womb, to buy their sperm, buy their kidney, buy their life. They kill each other, buy their mind. With a kilo of rice, they will buy their mind. So when we think that poverty would give people drive, it means that it will give them drive to do anything to achieve the barest minimum because they cannot even believe it is possible to go higher. It is why it is important that we create this level playing ground for everybody so that there is access to education, because the only thing that can bring opportunity and growth is if everybody has access to quality education. Education breeds exposure. What NEPO has, that's the people that are extremely wealthy, is that they have quality education and they have quality
freedom.
Network. They have those two. The middle class might not have the network, but they will have quality. They will struggle to give their children quality education. The education gives them leverage. And if we look at the wealthiest, there was a time in the world, maybe like 100 years ago, when you take census of wealthy people around the world, they are all from abject poverty. But because they were in countries and environments that gave access to education, they became very wealthy. But in this world of today, if you look at the wealthiest people in the world right now, none of them were from poverty. None, Murayo, none of the wealthiest in the world. statistically were from poverty. But 100 years ago, the Carnegies were from poverty. Ford was poverty, like ridiculous poverty. But they were able to rise because they had access to education and that drive. While now, what we have is if you do not have access to education, quality one, and a little bit of money to buy that comfort, there's crisis. So the expectation is that if we want change, if we want a country that appreciates and encourages the productivity that is available, the creativity available in all Nigerians, we need to make that opportunity for education available to everybody. Okay. If not, the creativity will be to be killing somebody and to be stealing from the other person.
Let me take this call from Hassan. We're holding for a minute. Good morning, Hassan. You're live. Thanks for calling you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hassan, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
My own view on the subject matter is, I'm trying to look at the student from a low background and having an edge. Because right from the word go, they know they don't have. As such, they will have that desire to excel in whatever field they decide to embark on. While on the other hand, those from a well-to-do background, though they have the key, the assets, wealth is a key or asset, they tend to slack. And at a point, the wealth will not become a hindrance. So, in summary, I feel the children that are coming from a low background, if mentored properly, have better chance to excel than those coming from a well-to-do background. So that's my own view. And in conclusion, please, I want to appeal to Madam Tope. She keeps organizing programs in Lagos. What about we in Jos? Dr. Kolawole Ojo at one time brought Tade Cash to Jos. He spent 3 powerful days in Jos. So, Mariam, you are our representative.
I will tell her.
Fantastic. You've given her the clue. So, you see, there's something I like to bring out here because we somehow, and I don't think we're doing it here, though. Yeah. We demonize poverty like, oh, it's a horrible thing. Sometimes poverty catapults you or pushes you to a point where you feel that there's something better. It gives you that inherent drive to say there's something better, because we make it look as if once you're poor, it is the worst thing that can happen to you. Okay, but poverty actually can be flipped, because everybody who's what those we were talking about earlier, that people who are rich, some had that level of poverty, and they actually aspired because they wanted to solve a problem at that time, and they realized that life can be better than where they are. So if we continue to demonize it, maybe therefore people will just rather just hide in their cocoon. They come and say, you know what I need.
So let me tell you why, as noble as this sounds, is simplistic, because you're looking at poverty as just the lack of money. But it's beyond that. It's because that lack of money comes with a lot of other social ills and challenges that you have to go through. And you're also looking at wealth or privilege as just money. So let's say, have you heard of those names that maybe they are great-grandparents, maybe they had so much money, but the money isn't there, but yet they're able to walk into places and doors are open just because of that name. That's what privilege does for you. That's the sort of wealth we're talking about, that it supersedes just that material money. You have built network, you have built support, you have built influence. Poverty denies you of everything. Thank you. It denies you of the financial money, it denies you of social standing, it denies you of confidence. Do you understand? That is what real poverty does. And where Tokwe talked about people who have come like generations past, and she's talking of America, definitely, because in today's world in Nigeria, many people have come from poverty. But I was just trying to say where it made a difference then. Education came, was introduced, and that gave some people a leverage to stand on, where they could not stand on family name, they could not stand on money, they would stand on education. And so that's where we are today, that if you give a poor person education, you have enriched that person. That person is no longer absolutely poor. So that's part of that wealth we're talking about. Now, you talk of those who have raised themselves out of poverty. It's usually, if you hear their stories, it's usually an encounter, either with a wealthy, and I'm not talking actual money, person or experience or something. I remember this book I read, and the mother worked as a nanny in the house of the rich, and she saw how they read books, how their children read books. She learned that thing that privileged people were doing, and she introduced it into our poor home. Now that seed from there is what helped open the doors. Her children began to read, and they now grew up to be successful people. So poverty itself should be demonized, should be, and it should be demonized in the sense, not demonized and say poor people are bad, but it should ring in our system, in our leaders' minds that it's such a terrible place to be, and whatever it is that we can provide to give people a platform that they can raise themselves out of that, that's what we need to do.
Okay, let me take this call. I'll come to you, BC. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live. Okay, I think I lost that call. Go ahead.
Poverty is a demon. You can't even run away from. Let's call it what it is, because it rapes your mindset. Someone who has the mindset of poverty would constantly be in survival mode. And what do you do when you're surviving? It's dog eats dog. We even see it in the midst of rich people who have somewhat gotten that material wealth, but they're still poor in their mindset. Yeah. And they're still, how do you explain somebody who is amassing wealth for generations upon generations, yet unborn? Irrespective of the fact that that wealth is supposed to go around and cater to the people that you are seeing, you are saving for generations. It's poverty of the mindset. So poverty is just, like Mariam rightly said, beyond the physical cash in your pocket. It rapes you to the extent where you can sell your body parts just because you want to survive. You can push anybody down just because you want to survive. That is not the world that we're trying to build. So poverty should be demonized. And one of the best ways, like Top Air rightly mentioned again, to lift people out of poverty. And that's why you see there's a difference between the developed world, like they like to call themselves, with us. When you come there, you see that there's a level playing field for the majority of the people, right? Now, people can now find jobs that they love doing without any form of pressure. That is what wealth gives to you. An opportunity to choose. You decide, okay, I want to be a chef. Nobody is chasing me. I want to go for my dreams. And I'm going to be fulfilled doing my dreams, right? Poverty does not give you that. You find yourself getting into different things that rip you of your health, your mental well-being, just because you want to survive and build something. So when you
let me go on a short break, because I think there's a part of this, getting. Let me go on a very short break. When we come back, I'll try to explain better. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Anchor with TVC News. My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Mariam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
taking you through as it happens.
It's fast-paced, hot-hitting,
with investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment, and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Everything.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Good morning, Marina.
Thanks for staying with us. So before I come to you, Tokwe, there was a word that while you guys were talking earlier, kept coming to me, and I was trying to get the definition of the word dignity. Dignity is an inherent quality of all human beings, irrespective of their financial situation. It encompasses the right to be valued, respected, and treated ethically. Now, where that comes in when it comes to the issue of poverty is because I have experienced situations where somebody who is poor understands where they are. They're not trying to be like you. And they like that you're rich. They like where you are. They understand what it takes to get there, and they realize that they've lost that opportunity. They will hope their children can get that opportunity and be, but they are not interested. Doesn't mean they are what's what I'm looking for. They are upset about your wealth or status. Doesn't mean that they value themselves. They value themselves in who they are because they have those values. But they understand that, okay, for my children to be like you, I'll give them all the support. So those kind of people, you cannot demonize their status, is what I'm trying to say. You cannot say because they are poor, doesn't mean that. So they are poor in certain areas, but they might not be poor in other areas, but they have value for who they are. So those kind of people must also be seen, respected, and understood.
Nobody is disrespecting the poor. The Bible even says the poor will always be amongst us. Poverty is not a crime. It's not. It's just a situation that can be addressed.
Yes.
It's a situation that can be dealt with. And even though I said on a global scale, the wealthiest people in the world globally did not come from poverty. They came from middle class, thereabouts. We've had stories within Nigeria where people came from poverty. I lived under the bridge for a year. I was squatting in the office because Chari's story rings very clear in the mind. Yeah. And if we want to study how people escape from poverty, it is if you want to raise people from poverty, you need to study how they left it. It was by education. Not just education that they went to school, because Charis will always say he did not go to school. But he went to school. He went to the school of understanding the trade. And a lot of Igbos have used it to escape poverty in their own culture. By education, via apprenticeship, they have broken the mindset of poverty. They have exposed the poor to the idea of you can be wealthy this way. You can buy, sell, keep the difference, multiply over and over again, and then multiply that wealth to take yourself away from poverty. It is possible, but it came from exposure and education. And I feel very, very strongly that if we don't have, if we continue to think that anybody poor is okay, that you can be poor, it cannot work, because until you are faced with a health challenge, until you want to buy insulin and the person dies because they can't afford to, in the country we are living in, there is no level playing ground for somebody to afford to say, I'm poor, but I have respect and I have dignity. Until that person needs to buy injection or needs to have an accident and they cannot treat them in the hospital, we need to talk about the fact that there is no level playing ground here. In some countries, you can have dignity in poverty. You can say, I don't have much, but I respect myself. I have enough to eat, to drink. I can get food stamps when I need it. But in Nigeria, there's no food stamp, there's no healthcare. The education self, you will still need to pay a little bit to get the free education that is public. So we need to talk about how to take ourselves out of that place.
Okay, let me take this call from Daniel. Thanks for calling. You're live. Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good morning. Daniel calling from Ojedu.
Yes.
Welcome to the
show.
Ahead.
All right, what I want to contribute to what you are discussing is that I disagree with forgetting a name that said that poverty will limit someone or blind some things, you know. No. To me, the definition of poverty is not somebody that does not have money.
Okay.
But somebody that has limited himself because of the situation he found himself is a pauper.
Instead of being extremely poor.
That's the way I see poverty.
Okay.
You limit yourself because of the situation you find yourself. I've seen somebody that came to beg somebody for money, and the woman looked at her. The woman said, "See, take this 1,000 naira. Use it to start anything." And that boy used that money to go and begin to sell pure water. I'm telling you, that boy now is an employer of labor. One thing that is causing many of these people is that, one, they don't have patience, and two, they don't want to persevere and endure the hard things that comes their way. We have seen some rich people that have children that live well for them and they squander it. Even Jesus said it in the Bible, like the prodigal son. He squandered it. And there are some people that also have children that are from rich family, but the children say, no, I won't build my own life by my own riches. I want to have my own. And they made it outside their father's riches. And there are also poor people that didn't have anything that come from the scratch and they rise to the top. So everything depends on the mindset of the person.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Can we have a little definition so that we are guided? I know Nigerians, we have a way of defining English language. Yes. So the meaning of poverty is state of being extremely poor. Now the meaning of poor is lacking sufficient money to live at a standard considered comfortable or normal in a society, and that is what should be demonized in a world that is full of abundance. So a world where you can achieve it if you can only see it and believe and work towards it. That's the world that we live in. There's no time you go into the river that you do not see fishes. You would always see fishes. There's no time they've been sand filling, you're taking sand from one point or the other. We've not heard that we have run out of sand. In fact, there are some places in this same world where we are beginning to find new mineral resources. So we live in an abundant world, and so it should be a crime if you cannot even have something that can sustain you in life. And that is where everybody needs to work together. How do we make it easy for people to be able to get to that level where at least the basics are sorted? We sit down here, we say we are not doing a lot of research in this part of the world because everybody's hungry. Obodo Ibo now, I can choose to, I just like that ant. And I want to study that ant. And I will dedicate 20 years of my life studying that ant. Do you know why I can do that? Because I know that when I need food, there's food. I know that when I want to go to point A, point B, there is. Let me try studying ants here now and leave every other thing I want to do if hunger will not finish me. You rightly mentioned it. Sometimes we have issues, healthcare, we can't even afford. People have sat down and seen their parents die because they cannot afford to buy as little as the malaria medicine. And that's why we must demonize being poor and poverty. We can have the basics, everybody almost middle class, standard of living, quality education here and there. Then that's where we now see people who actually have the drive to do businesses, people who have the drive to succeed in different ways, pick it up and go. Not everybody will be wealthy. Not everybody would be superstars. Not everybody will be privileged. Not everybody, all fingers are not equal. But if we have that standard of living that goes around, that everybody can claim that little dignity that Mariah talked about, things will be a lot easier, and that's how we can develop our nation. So poverty, I repeat, is a crime.
I was just, even our last call, I was going to say, when he talked about the prodigal son who squandered his wealth, he still had the rich daddy to go back to. So that's the difference about this NEPO that we're talking about.
True.
You still have somewhere. There's still a safety net, but there is absolute poverty, definitely, where it's just you have nothing.
Zero.
But I think also a lot of us are discussing relative poverty. So it is relative in comparison to like the average income everybody around you has. You know, is that yes, I'm able to eat at least once a day, but I cannot pay fees. Or I'm able to, I have a job, but it does not really take me home. I can't pay rent, you know, every time I'm being thrown out. So that's another kind of poverty. But in that sort of poverty, it's not absolute in the sense that there's some things that you have, some skills that you have that takes you, you know, and encourages you to push, you know, from day to day. And a lot of people have been able to pick themselves, I won't say pick themselves up, by sheer grit or chance, you know, coming together, they're able to take themselves from that situation into a new situation. And that is why the story of grace to grass is always a big story. Like, we know how difficult it is to be able to rise from this sort of condition, and you did it. That's why we bring them out, we highlight their stories, and we highlight their stories to encourage others in that situation, knowing how difficult it is, but then just hoping that this story will give someone hope.
Okay,
so
let me go on the break, because I like us, we've talked quite a bit on poverty part, but I like us to touch on this issue of, does being born in a privileged society really guarantee that you'll be wealthy?
Okay.
Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name na Chika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo Listy. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say na my husband be this. Now waiting you want. After that day, the man you no go see him again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody. When they find the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't use signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as it be.
Men no they ever get fault.
If baby not there for her,
na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, you make person no fit talk through inside. But for this country, we not say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this rich privilege versus people coming from the poor homes. And I wanted us to bring the conversation back to the wealthy, because some could argue that because you're born into privilege does not mean, or does not guarantee you'll be successful. Some argue that the fact that you're even born into privilege is in itself a problem, because then it doesn't make you fight or struggle, or it doesn't give you the drive to achieve much more than your parents, because you have the basics of life. You won't want to research that ant that Isi was talking about earlier, because you don't need to research the ant. You have every single thing. So in that view, now, does it then cause that self-destruction I talked about earlier? Or is there a way that can actually springboard you into greater wealth?
I feel that I was having a conversation with someone, and we've discussed this thing a few times on the show, where you say you want to build resilience, you want to build grit. It's simply because we came from lower middle class, we did not have a lot, so we hustled, and we feel like our children must hustle. Are you raising your children to be poor? Or you're raising, like, your children might never use their hands to wash clothes. They would always have washing machine, they would always have lights. Like, there's some things that doesn't just happen. So we're just trying to find a way to see the negativity in being wealthy. Greed is bad. Greed is bad. And
it cuts across.
Taking, whether you are rich or poor, it is bad to be greedy. Taking what does not belong to you is bad, whether you are rich or poor. But being financially comfortable opens you up for a lot of creativity. So I read a story about Nightingale, Florence Nightingale, this nurse that was from a wealthy family and decided to be a nurse because she did not have to marry. If she did not marry, her parents would not die. They would like her to marry, but she said no. She had a choice because she wasn't from poverty. And based on her ability to dedicate her time and take resources from her parents to nurse people in the war, she discovered that she could save more lives if they kept the hospital clean. Cleanliness now brought life being saved. Many scientists that we are enjoying their benefits now came from aristocracy. They had the flexibility to be studying botany. They were looking at butterflies and studying animals. We were able to enjoy the benefit because they did not have to worry about what to eat or drink. Food was covered. So they could explore other creativity. And you know, what we have in Nigeria is that people that are wealthy are not dedicating their time and their life to use the wealth to say, I want to study. They're not wealthy enough. So I want to study how we can do this. I want to study because we don't have that culture. So we need to re-educate people's mind that what wealth has given you is freedom to impact lives. True. Not to start dominating everybody and say, I'm powerful, I have money, I can do and undo. I can drive one way, I have escorts in front at the back. I can jump the queue. That is what we do with our wealth in Nigeria. That is the lowest level of wealth. It's a wealth that still has poverty mindset.
God bless you.
The real wealth is for you to solve your problems.
And there's a saying.
Okay. I'll come to you. Come on, Olumide, you're live. Thanks for calling you. Olumide, you're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you. You see, I want to say that poverty, in my own analogy, is a disease. And it is infectious. You see, one of the cause agents of poverty is greed. You know, it is infectious. We're talking about feared criminality, then feared laziness. If I give me time, I will explain. You see, being a disease and being a shared one is that if you as a billionaire had a mindset to solve problems within your environment, because poverty is indeed an infectious one, so likewise, wealth is still infectious. You will make your immediate environment cured of poverty.
That's what we preach.
Now, it is indeed a very, very infectious one when you as a billionaire determine not to stop that disease. You can be poor too, going back to what your colleague just said, that people use their wealth in a negative way, creating more problems, whereby creating poverty. So when we see poverty as a disease, as an infectious one, and when we see ourselves being an agent of cure to poverty, we will start, creating opportunities and creating procedures and processes that will heal the disease. So diseases, they are infectious, they are poverty, and we can solve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy we're coasting this way, because that was what I was trying to achieve in trying to drive this narrative of what poverty is. Because it reminds me of the fact that many of us in this country are so poor, all we have is money. It's so, because our mindset is so poor that when we now get the physical cash, we're not thinking of development, because the countries we run to, many of them, it was the poor people that actually, because there's no government can actually just say, I'm going to develop, I'm going to build this. It is private sector that comes together. You know, I remember when I was reading about lottery, when it started, these are things that was private sector driven. The government now said, hold up, you guys are making this much money. They now came in and started to regulate that. You know, we have to take some of this money that you guys are making, because the private sector are the one that come with these ideas of innovation. What do we do to boost entertainment? What do we do to develop healthcare? What do we do to help in education? We come up together and do these things, and then government's job is just to provide to facilitate, to ensure that we have enough land, electricity, the power to do those things. But private sector comes with ideas. But here in our own part of the world, we don't think that way. We have a lot of money, and what we want to do is pepper them and have those big parties.
So, why? There's a reason for that. Yeah, there's a reason for that. When the struggle becomes too much, it rips you of humanity. And that's why we're saying, if you give us a level playing field, the basics, right?
The Maslow hierarchy.
And yes, and we are now deciding to hustle. Maybe Miriam now decides, okay, I want to do this sort of business. I want to solve this sort of problem. She's not coming from a place where she has been ripped out so bad that anything she now gets, she's thinking of her next generation. That's where the problem comes from. So the difference between the Oyibos that we see and admire how they use their own riches for everything is because at the core, everybody is still almost equal. It's still almost equal. It appears so. You can walk into the streets now, you see somebody, a new phone comes out, you go, you exchange.
Everybody can buy it.
Everybody has access. So I'm not coming here to brag that I have the latest phone because everybody has it.
It doesn't make any difference.
It doesn't make any difference. You get into the public transportation, you see everybody take public. In fact, it's cheaper to take the public transport than even driving your own cars. You spend more maintaining your own cars. So when you come from such an environment, and that's why it seems like our children, when they now finally go abroad, they're not as driven as we are when they come back, because they've seen life in such a way that what am I fighting for? I can only pick the things I enjoy doing. They come back and they're not, you see that fire that you are, because I had a couple of friends who are saying that their kids are coming back home now, but she doesn't see that Nigerian drive. They just want to do easy things. This is what I want to do. This is what I love to do. This is my passion. This is my, and they went to the went to the very best of schools. Their mindset is so open that there's nothing to drive. There's nothing to fight for.
My child went to Harvard. Came back, started taking picture. Like, are you all right?
Okay, now.
Do you know the school you went to?
All right. How much I paid for
camera there? Are you okay?
You see the difference?
There was serious fighting. You see the difference? I mean, I'm happy. Eventually, the person started doing other things. But there was a major friction in the house. We went to Harvard for not just those business courses.
Proper school. Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, come back to take camera.
Yes.
Take picture.
A budget of a whole state.
Thank you.
So understand.
So that's it. So let me just quickly close down here before I come to before Miriam goes. So that's why it seems like it's different. Now, for us to solve the problem, because we admire that rich people are able to use their resources to better the nation, we have to make sure that even the poor are not hustling with their life and needing to sell their soul to get to that riches. Because that's when that happens. That's when you see that, okay, now I've finally gotten on top. Every other person will collect Pepe.
Okay, let me go on a very short because I'll start with you, Mariam. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Imagine a country with over 300 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo? Where we get a common language, where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self, and every person where they for street. That's why we dey introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station where they unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show, Waiting Day, with your brother, your friend, Wale Po.
Everywhere.
So, Bumper.
Gen Z, you a job for this time.
This is not Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Oh.
Now we be what's up Naija crew. Now we they give you wetin dey sup for inside we country.
Yes, so
keep it loud. If God be your papa, why you not gonna make Yanga?
Compound to a holla. Now here we dey settle all the matter. Bro, we right here. Nobody better than we, right?
Okay, now whispers be that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go hear.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
Breaking news isn't just about speed, but more importantly, about fact and accuracy. It is responsible journalism, being ahead, unbiased, sensitive, in telling the stories that people would want to hear in a way that protects their sanity and for the public good. And it goes beyond breaking the news to actually following up, exploring all the angles, engaging newsmakers, tracking impact, all geared towards informing, educating, and setting agenda for the people. Breaking news is holistic, entire, complete. It's about you, me, and the world we live in. Breaking news is at the core of what we do at TVC News, and it's the honor of my life to serve you this news, fresh off the press.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position.
I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this matter. Yes, Mary, we're going to say something for the
Yes, so you took the words right out of my mouth that some people are so poor that all they have is money. And I think that that's a problem that we have in our country today. Although I can't tell you which comes first, the chicken or the egg, which is it because we came from abject poverty, we became that way, which is no values, no emotional intelligence, no empathy. We just have money and we use it to buy things. We use it to show off. And because of that, we push ourselves with, from greed to get even more and get even money that's meant for, or resources that's meant for our whole community or our country. Instead, we find ways to steal it, acquire it just for ourselves and our family. And what do we do with it? We go out to show it off. And that's all we do and recycle over and over again. So I can't tell you if it's because we came from abject poverty or that, we are in a society that worships money. It does not care how you make that money. The fact that you have it, you have people fall over for you. There used to be a time where a person, because of their character or what they did or their profession, they got respect. There were times that teachers got respect for being teachers. It didn't matter what they didn't have materially or what they had. We respected them. We understood the impact that they were making in their world. But now, it does not matter if someone stole your neighbor, you know, stole him blind. You know that that's what that person did, and comes out and he throws that money around and shows up. You appreciate the money, and you call the other person stupid for not able to do that. So for me now, the conversation has to be about materialism again. So this is another form. We hardly talk about it, but this is another way that materialism has affected us, where we are not thinking of what we can do for our society. We're not raising up our children to chase wealth or to chase success for how it impacts their community, how it impacts their society, the good that they can do, but how they can come up and show off to your friends and your friends' children that look at what we have achieved, look at how we look, you know. And so you wonder why some parents are saying that my child doesn't have the drive. And the thing is, your child has seen a different world and is saying, the drive for what? What do you want me to chase really? To chase more houses, to chase more travel? But have you looked around you? Do you see how poor these people are? Why can't I do something that shows my empathy and I'm able to help the world? Because we do come from a country where helping people from really an altruistic place is not really pushed. When we help, we document it, we put it out there because we want to use it to get even more wealth, we want to use it to get more adulation and adoration. So really, the issues that we're dealing with is not a matter of someone from outside or the children not showing interest, is that we should look inwards into our lives. What is it that we have made important and our children have seen differently from that?
Let me call Ola from Abuja. Take the call. You're live, Ola.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to quickly contribute a few things to the discussion this morning. You know, what I believe is, and it has been said, everybody has mentioned it, that poverty is a mindset. For me, I speak for myself, I came from a very poor family, but I was able to fight my way. Now, two days ago, you know, somebody was talking about Buhari while he was having his birthday, and everybody was looking at him as a very rich man. But the problem we have in Nigeria is we have not been able to properly define what poverty is. Now, when people see people like me now, they do not see a rich person until somebody gathers everything in the world before we can acknowledge that that person is rich. Sure. But poverty is not a man that does not have money in his pocket, but a man that does not have an idea in his heart. There was a day a pastor told me this thing, and it changed my life. Now, if you go back to the way God created the world, let's go back to Adam. In the Garden of Eden, God made some things available for Adam. And at that point, Adam was a rich man. What did God give him? God gave him shelter. God gave him a garden that provided food for him. God gave him a tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is synonymous to education. God told him to till the ground, which is like a kind of employment. Now, if government can produce the basic, make housing affordable, make health care affordable, make jobs available, if everybody who graduates from a university or who got a skill would now be at the same pedestal. What now makes you very rich is going to be your drive. Exactly. If your drive is now higher than the one of your neighbor, then you can now go higher. But everybody should now be comfortable at a level. It doesn't mean that it's until when you have all the cars in the world. I have struggled to be able to build a house for myself. Whether the house is good or not is not my problem. Whether that house meets the one in the Koi is, but I have been able to give myself. So I see it's a thing of the mind. If we go by the definition of the dictionary, we will not get it, because people in the Senate, people who are governors, these people have money, but yet when you look at their minds, they are poor. True. The way they steal money, the greed, and all of that.
Thank you very much, Ola. Let me let you go at this point. Thank you so much. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll take a few comments on our social media. I have so many comments here. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
taking you through as it happens.
It's fast-paced, hot-hitting,
with investigations that matter,
bringing in news that affects your life,
with sport, entertainment and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage was that.
Everything.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces set, speaking, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thanks for staying with us. You know, so let me take this comment from Mr. Tijani. He says, good morning, sister. I would like to debunk the notion that people from wealthy or privileged backgrounds always have a better advantage in life. While having resources can provide a head start, it's not a guarantee of success. Many wealthy individuals today build their fortunes from scratch, starting from nothing. In fact, research shows that most successful entrepreneurs and business leaders are self-made, having overcome obstacles and persevered to achieve their goals. Privilege can be a catalyst, but it's not a determining factor. As long as there's life, there's always a possibility of greatness yet to be accomplished. Do you have any comments you want to take from your own end?
Yeah. We have a couple here.
While we're on the break, you guys are talking about, you know, I'm trying to see how to say this in English, but you know, when you have so much money and you become akpa, you know, when you have wealth, and there's nothing else to have. You have all the money, you have everything money can buy. And then instead of you to be progressive, it brings, like, I went back to this way of self-destruct. I've not really touched on it because sometimes too much money can give you that. When your father has everything, you grew up in such privilege. You're not looking to research the ant. You're not really interested because you're just a lucky go fellow guy. You want to just have like drink, party, and just be okay all of your life. What that happens, you have children who don't even think about wealth, and gradually, before you know it, you give to children that live in poverty. So then they go back to ground zero. So how do you therefore build a sustainable wealth such that when your privileged background gives you that bumper to go up, not to bring your generation down.
Education.
Okay.
Not always education.
Yes, it's education. Education is not that you went to school.
Some people are educated, they are rich.
Once I say education, the assumption is the person went to school, did masters. No. Education, when you have there's a program I did with Praise for Wowe about the family system and family system engineering. And it is an intentional journey because some families, the Carnegie family till tomorrow, Rockefeller family till tomorrow, they've had the money across several generations.
Yeah, centuries.
And yet they still have children who carry on the legacy because the children are educated to understand the responsibility and the values of the family. As a nation, we can actually create education to help us understand the values of our nation and carry on the legacy of building wealth. We went to China. They had poverty. Yeah. Poverty with hunchback, the kind of poverty that we are trying to get ourselves. Yes, serious one. And they took a decision to educate themselves and build a system with value. We've discussed it a few times and we said Japan. That Japan has education. But education is not about just going to school, but the value of honoring, bowing down to greet. The fact that everybody must solve a problem. Everything must be neat. We must solve problems. We're not just building businesses to make money. I had a conversation with somebody that was going to talk about a business idea. And I said, this business is not new. This business you want to do is not solving any problem. You are just trying to find a gap to milk money from more people. I said, that's not what I want you to do. I need you to be creative. Think about a business that will solve real problems.
Let me ask. So I was going to say, so for me, the answer is building character, having values, having principles. And when you have that, then it's not money you're chasing. But the truth is, just as I said before we went on the break, what a lot of us have is materialism. We're chasing, that is the only value, that's the only principle that we have, getting more and more and more. I read someone on X had posted, it says, if you look at it, most of the billionaires that we have, or we've had over generations and today, is that it's just a very few of them that made their billions from maybe inventing something or solving a problem for people. And somehow, they didn't go out to be billionaires, but somehow in helping people or inventing something, they made money from it. He says you always see that most of those billionaires are different from those who made their money because they took advantage of the vulnerable. Because there are many billionaires, he says that there are even more than those ones, who the way they made their billions is took advantage of a lapse in judgment of someone, the vulnerable, a system, you take it. So that your drive now is not about value, it's not about purpose, it's about how can I take advantage. And that is what you now push to the next generation. And that is where, when you have stolen from everybody and taken advantage of everybody, then what? Then there's no contentment, there's no happiness, you know. And then you find yourself, you find a billionaire sitting down miserable, and you're wondering, you have everything, why are you miserable? Or you have a billionaire sit down with you that has a lot less and say, you're so rich and so blessed that you have this, that your children are like this.
Surround your table.
So what's important really? What is your character? What do you think is important in this world? Do you build relationships? Or just throw money at people so that they can just surround you and hail you and be your yes man and yes woman? Do you understand? Do you allow yourself to be accountable to people that love you? Or you think you're entitled to everything and anything and your ego is important? It's more important than anything.
Yes, so I personally do not believe in sustainable wealth. I believe in sustainable purpose, because wealth can go. Your family can have vast lands, they have built companies, one government comes in, changes a policy, and everything just goes down the drain. What now sustains you is you coming together to understand what is the purpose for which I am doing this. If your purpose is not bigger than you, then it's not even worth venturing into. So people who have been able to sustain, because with your purpose will still come the addition. The wealth is the addition to the value that you're giving as a virtue of following your purpose. Those people who are able to sustain are those who have clear intentions of their purpose. They know where they are going, not just for themselves, for humanity. Because the truth of the matter is, we're not here to serve ourselves. We are here to serve the world. We're supposed to be channels. So if you have, and it's not flowing to the right places, it's not flowing, at some point it will become stagnant and it will stop flowing. So people who have sustained are those who are able to have their outreaches. They know that, okay, we are here solving a problem, we're here taking care of this, we're here, it's bigger than them. So even when they go and it disappears, because that purpose still lives on, God will always raise people to hold it strong.
Let me ask this question because we're running out of time. Is a better name, like a good name,
better
than riches? Because somebody will tell you today that
in which
don't
country?
leave me name. Because if you leave me name, nice, open door, but doesn't guarantee that I'll get access. But leave me some riches. I mean, as a young person, I used to, I think I've complained here before that. I appreciate my father's name, no doubt about it. I mean, we could say, go certain places, but it didn't mean that we have a house in Ikoyi. Doesn't mean that because I know my father had opportunity to get house in Dolphin. I know he had opportunity to get house in Oshapa, London. I knew when those things came, and he was, I mean, though he bought some here and there, but he sold, he was not really, those things did not mean to him. And I know when his friends were buying those places, and I see the value of those places today. And I drive past those places and I'm thinking, Popsy.
Okay. So the reason why a lot of us we even think to have this argument, I even think to ask if a name is less important or more important than wealth and riches is because really our society is a bit warped. We have sing people who have made money in the wrong way and somehow they have sustained it over the years. But there'll come a time where things will change. A name is better. I have seen people that they left the Ikoyi homes too. They don't have those homes today. They don't have those homes today. And unfortunately for them, they don't even have the name.
The name
because the name was not associated with anything good. So it's not a name that it got them money, it got them physical, material things, but it's gone. They didn't teach them how to keep it. They didn't teach them how to sustain it. They didn't understand the importance of having quality relationships. They didn't understand anything, and it's gone. So a name is more enduring than anything. And that's why a good name is very important, because you can have a bad name and it will follow you from generation to generation. So yes, you may look at it as I would rather have had a home, but here you are in your home. Don't mind that. She's in her home.
There's so many fantastic right now in addition to
so probably if you had dropped it, you may not have it today.
See, a name any day, anytime is now left for me to work the name. So the difference is now you did not work the name because you also don't like stress, right? Imagine your father's name was my father's name. I will use it. I would have used it. No, I'm getting it, but the way I will use it is not the way she's using it. I would have used it and I would have gotten the things that I needed to get. But for me, the most important thing is the name, because the name will open the doors. And if you have been raised right, on networking and managing that name, it will give you more. And if you have that personal drive
do you
to
know
find
that
success,
name does
that
not
name will
even
help
need you. That's the people who don't understand. That name does not even need her to be hustling like you are hustling. The name has done the work ahead of her. She just needs to step into the door and I'm not talking of her, but you know, I'm just talking of people.
I believe generally that
a good name?
A good name, obviously, is better than riches. I feel that when you already have a good name, because we know that name is currency, integrity is money. If you have a name that can bring integrity to you,
forget.
It's similar to what BCC I wanted to say, that a prince that does not know that he's a prince would walk and live like a pauper until you come to the realization that I am a prince.
So true.
The name you have, until you enter into the consciousness that this name is more than silver and gold. When you connect that is more than silver and gold, you will see the silver and gold everywhere that would come up, which would last much more than any silver and gold that could have been left.
The name is a solid foundation.
That's all we can take.
I can't believe that that's all we discussed today.
As if we discussed it.
You people not see any comments.
We saw comments.
Our fans, thank you. Most of the youth are into tech. That's from Oluwaseun Olatunde. And they make dollars from Nigerians in Nigeria. We are doing so well. Stripe came from Obodo Oyinbo and bought a part of Nigeria created pay stack, which employs Nigerians. So
poverty with dignity is when you can afford the basics of human sustenance. In today's Nigeria, poor people have fallen out of the bottom and struggling to stay afloat with basic challenges. I assure you, some unscrupulous clergy have labeled it as sin. Except we are pretending poverty in Nigeria is a terrible thing to be avoided at all costs. It is an offense in Nigeria to be poor. And now unscrupulous clergy have even called poverty a sin. This is why today it's get rich or die trying.
One comment,
this
Samzi
is
says,
Singami fire.
Yeah, it's the role of government to eliminate extreme forms of poverty. That is what welfare is for, to provide citizens with the basics in times of vulnerability so they can contribute to nation building.
You know whose view I would have loved to hear on this show?
Whose view?
Lima.
Yeah.
That's what we can take on this segment of the show today. Tomorrow is another day. Have a lovely day. See you then. Bye for now.
Bye.